Greetings, KNES 310 Fall 2021 class. This is Brian Campbell. I'm going to be your professor for this class. That was supposed to be face-to-face, and we did hybrid just in case. And what do you know, just in case came to play. So, here's the deal. I'm going to introduce you to myself and go over a few key things on the syllabus. Let me get this off and bring up the syllabus. And we're going to make the best of this, okay? We got it. So, where do I start? I'm originally from Delcombe, Louisiana, and I am dyslexic. So if anybody else out there is dyslexic, okay, what that means is there are certain things I can do very well, and there are certain things that I got to get accommodations with, and just it takes me a little longer than other people to do certain things, okay? So I teach as a dyslexic. I'm a storyteller. I use a lot of analogies, okay? So that can be a good thing. What I mean by that is if I'm trying to teach a concept and you're not quite understanding it, contact me, text me, let me try different ways. Obviously, in a classroom setting, I could do it immediately, but we have to utilize our resources to help me help you, okay? So this class is now hybrid. We moved it during the summertime, so I guess technically it was always hybrid. But the key thing, though, is that the negatives of us not being, now in October, I'm gonna make the scheduled time available for people that just want to come, spread out, and get some extra practice, have questions. But all of the lecture material is going to be delivered via Moodle. Okay. Now, self-motivation is of importance here. Okay. Self-motivation. Right now on your Moodle page is all 7 lectures for your first exam. They're all up there. I'm not going to post one every class period. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm like a 70s retro dancer. I'm going to post them all. Why? So that you can not only work at your own pace, but it's like when you're Netflix binging. Like, I watched Cocaine Cowboys the other day. Oh my God. You talk about make me feel better about my life. But you watch the first episode and you're like, I got questions. So you watch the second episode and you're like, I guess I should be checking on my boys, but let me watch the third episode. Next thing you know, you watch the whole thing. That's kind of how I want this maybe to work out, where you have all of the lectures already posted and you watch the first one and you're like, well, I got a little time. Let me see what the next one's about. Well, I have questions I need to answer. You watch the third one. And then, as you're going to see from my syllabus, there's no scheduled office hours. It's all the time office hours. If you have a question, why would I wait until the next day to answer it? I want to get your question answered now. That's like you having a question about a movie that you're watching with a friend, and if you get the question answered, maybe you enjoy the movie better. Maybe it answers something that'll help you understand something later. But the friend's like, nah, bro, ask me that question after the movie. You see what I'm saying? So I have my phone. You have your phone. If you have a question, don't wait. Text me. Dr. Campbell, this is who I am, and I have a question about lecture number 4 specifically in regard to, you don't have to ask me a question, but it helps me if you give me a heads up about what it's going to be about. I could kind of get my mind set. And then we can FaceTime, we can talk, we can Zoom, we can do whatever to help clarify the confusion so that you can keep going, so that you can move on, so that you can continue to binge. Okay? So that's my deal with you guys. I'm going to make myself available to clarify. Here's where some students struggle with this class. I have a unique set of skills. We're all unique, but my skills, with my dyslexia, my background in athletic training and my doctorate in biomechanics allows me to take a physics approach to human movement. The cool thing about physics is that it's consistent. The bad thing about human movement is there's a lot of inconsistency with verbiage and playing fast and loose. And so I try to account for that. Now, this is what I mean. Some of you are certified personal trainers, and there's a lot of variability with that. In other words, if you want to become a doctor or a lawyer, there's only one board that does that. But in fitness, there's like a gajillion. You could have someone who's never taken a KNES class in their life get certified to personal train over the weekend online, okay? I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but we have to understand that that creates variables in verbiage. And also it creates sometimes I already know this. I'm a personal trainer. I already know this. I've been a personal trainer for 2 years. I already know this. I passed a certification exam by Kellogg's Corn Flakes. I already know this. And I'm not saying you don't know some of it, but I'm saying that we need to humble ourselves. I humble myself every day learning new stuff, man. I'm like, wow, I thought I knew that, but man, it's natural, okay? So if you do have a background in this stuff, don't assume. And if you're learning, if I'm teaching you something that has a different verbiage than what you're familiar with, let's talk about it. Maybe we're talking about the same thing, but we're calling it something different. Or maybe there's something there that you just maybe never thought about before, and you learned something new. The root of this class, and well, let me get to my athletic training majors, who I love dearly. I'm a former athletic trainer. I'm your people. But a lot of textbooks that have introduced you to human movement will only give you the 3-foot putt version. What I mean by that is, if you turn your head to your left, that's called left transverse cervical rotation. Got it? Okay. What these textbooks don't show you is variations, real life variations, where what if I turn my whole body so my head, or you may learn it where, okay, if I go from looking straight to looking to my left, it's called this, left transverse cervical rotation. So what happens if you're looking at these landmarks, right? Because that's what you study for the test. And I move my whole trunk. So I didn't move my neck. I moved my trunk. Well, you say, well, I went from looking forward to looking to the left. Must be this. So in other words, it looked like it moved, but it didn't. Or an even tougher one, what if it looks like it didn't move, but it did? The book may say left transverse cervical rotation. But what if you observe something like this? I'm going to teach you how that's also left transverse cervical rotation. Is the same thing as, okay? So illusions, we're going to be big in illusions. And illusions are not discussed a lot in textbooks. Textbooks are basic. It looks like it's moving, and it is. It looks like it's moving, and it is. It looks like it's moving, and it is. Okay? It looks like it's moving, and it is. There's no rules that say human movement have to be it looks like it's moving, and it is. There's a lot of times where it looks like it's moving, but it's not. And there's also a lot of times where it looks like it's not moving, but it is. And that's the elegance of this class, that I'm going to teach you how to look for clues to figure out if it's moving. And if it's moving, how is it moving? What are we going to call it? So things aren't always what they seem. Pavlov is a great concept. Ring the bell and the salivate. But a lot of times we get into that trap where we learn it a certain way, and when we see these cues, and we end up getting it wrong because we hadn't had anybody teach us to look for these things. Typically, students that start fresh, that don't have any bias, do really well because I get to teach you from scratch kind of good fundamentals, good mechanics, good form. So I'm just warning some of my fitness studies majors, my exercise science majors who have backgrounds in personal training. Have an open mind. Do not assume, and contact me if you have questions, okay? All right, that's important. So, the syllabus, I want you to go over it. I want you to read it. I have all of your exam dates down. I have the percentages. Everything is test driven. There's no silly projects or any kind of stuff like that. That's so darn subjective. It's knowledge based, okay? My job is to teach you specifically how not only the body works, but to introduce, develop, and hopefully master concepts of illusions. How this to there, from here to there, start to finish, is the exact same thing as this to there. Start to finish. Okay? My job is to also teach you how from here to there is not the same as here to there. In other words, arm goes out. We call it this. Well, if I move my whole body, arm went out, but I didn't have any motion at my shoulder joint. So you just can't use these trendy kind of cues. When I see this, it must be that. I'm just telling you, beware. And to quote The Lion King, I love Disney World, be prepared. So how do you prepare? You watch the videos. You watch them as many times as you want. You watch them in advance, hopefully. And then you holla at your boy. Call me, text me. Obviously, text me first before you just call because I might think you're trying to reach out to me about extending my car insurance. So I am here to help. I want to help clarify this material because I love this material. This is my world. This is what I do. This is what I'm fascinated with ever since I was a little kid, watching pictures, watching football players, watching sports. I was fascinated with movement. Okay? So I hope I can get you interested in it as well and apply this knowledge to any one of your careers in kinesiology. Physical education majors, you're going to have to know illusions of human movement. Therapists, you're going to have to know illusions of human movement. Athletic trainers very much need to learn illusions of human movement, not only performance-wise, but injury-wise, right? And then obviously my fitness professionals. And we need to understand illusions of human movement, okay? So that's who I am. Introduce yourself. Let me know if you need, and we're going to have a good semester, okay? Be well.